Are you looking for the perfect Omaha neighborhood that is both walkable and affordable? Well, let's talk about Aksarben because it is going to be the perfect neighborhood for you. My name is Morgan Putnam and I am a realtor in the Omaha metro area. Let's talk about Aksarben. The boundaries for Aksarben are about 72nd Street to Saddle Creek. That is the west and east boundary, and then north to south is about Leavenworth north to center south. And so there is a neighborhood called Elmwood Park that is just to the west of Elmwood Park, which is just north of Pacific Street in between Dodge and Pacific and 72nd and Elmwood. And that is oftentimes considered part of Aksarben. So today, for today's purposes, when we're discussing Aksarben, we're going to loop that into the Aksarben neighborhood just because it is so close, and people, when they're talking about Aksarben, typically include that. Aksarben is a very strange word, and it is actually Nebraska spelled backwards. In the 1930s, when Aksarben was first being developed, it was supposed to be a model community by the Resettlement Agency from the New Deal, and that never really took off. It was supposed to be about 50 homes that each had 7 acres, and it just never happened. And then it slowly turned into a racetrack, like a horse racetrack, and it was very well known for that in the middle of the century for this huge booming horse racetrack. And then it also had this little like Coliseum thing, and that hosted concerts. So like famous people like Elvis had played there in the past, and so it was this like booming place for a bunch of entertainment. In the 1920s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, it was slowly being developed, and they built these small bungalow type homes that are super adorable and charming. In 2005, both the racetrack and the Coliseum were torn down, and a developer came in and turned it into a large mixed-use development. That mixed-use development is Aksarben Village today, and it butts right up against the UNO campus, and it has shops, restaurants, apartments, townhomes, some dorms. Aksarben Village is also home to Stinson Park, which is a park that has a playground and a large green space, as well as like an outdoor amphitheater. And in the summer, every Saturday night, there is a free live concert at this amphitheater. Aksarben Village is home to some of Omaha's best restaurants. And a few years ago, Inner Food Hall opened. It was one of the first food halls in Omaha, and it has a lot of different local restaurants that are housed within the food hall. There's also a bar there. And in the summer, there is a bar that is in an Airstream camper, and it has cornhole and an outdoor ping pong table and an amazing vibe. Like it has a deck, a great outdoor patio for everybody to sit and enjoy cocktails in the summer, and that is called Sunny's, and that is close to the Inner Food Hall. So the Inner Food Hall is within the parking garage at Aksarben Village, and it's right across like a breezeway from HDR. Some of the businesses in Aksarben Village are HDR, Pacific Life Insurance, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Nebraska, and then Fiserv also has a huge office here. It's undeniable the influence that these big companies as well as UNO have on Aksarben. It makes it this great place where people are working, there are students bustling about. It has great energy. So right inside Aksarben Village, there are classrooms for UNO students. So there's and then there's also some dorms, and there's a bus that takes students in between this campus, the Scott campus that is in Aksarben Village, and then takes them up north to the Dodge campus. So there's a big connection between Aksarben Village and the UNO student population. And just on the south side of Aksarben Village, there's Baxter Arena, and that is where the hockey team plays. That's also where UNO hosts their graduation. There is just a lot of activities at the Baxter Arena, and it really thrives to have that right next to Aksarben, because then people have places to eat and then go and take part in all of the activities that are happening at Baxter. That bus that I was talking about that connects the two sides of campus drives through Elmwood Park, which is a golf course, and it also has some baseball fields, some open fields, as well as a playground. And this playground is great for people with little kids. They change out some toys. So there's obviously the playground equipment, but then there's also some free toys that they change out regularly for kids to play with. There are some trails that are throughout this park. This is a great place to come and hang out on cool summer mornings as well as evenings. Folks who live in Aksarben have access to Elmwood, but then they also have access to all of these different restaurants and shopping opportunities in Aksarben Village. It's a great place if you want to prioritize walkability. As I mentioned before, a lot of these homes were built between 1920 and 1950, and the price range can really vary in this neighborhood. A lot of these homes, they're modest little bungalows that were being built in the 1920s and 30s, and these homes are pretty close together, and they have smaller lots and about a one-car garage. There's a lot of 2 to 3 bedroom homes and around 1,100 to 1,500 square feet. With that being said, though, there are some larger homes, particularly in that Elmwood Park neighborhood that is just to the west of Elmwood Park and the golf course and really close to UNO. There are some larger homes in that area. The rolling average price for a home in Aksarben in 2024 was $283,000, and the most expensive home in this area that sold was $695,000, and the most affordable home that sold was $113,000. There are homes in this neighborhood that have still been virtually untouched since they were built, and so that is where some of those lie at the more affordable range. Some of these homes have been completely gutted and remodeled and have all of the modern conveniences, and those are going to sell for a little bit more than these homes that have a lot of work that need done or might be in a decent amount of disrepair. In 2024, it took 12 days on average for a home to sell in the Aksarben neighborhood. That is really fast. There were only 124 homes in this area that is pretty large and has a ton of homes. There was only that many that were for sale in 2024. The majority of Aksarben is in the Omaha Public School District, and the elementary school that services it is Bell Ryan Elementary, Norris Middle School, and then Central High School. Aksarben is an amazing central location, and so it is really easy to get anywhere in the Omaha Metro from here. It's about 15 minutes to the airport, and it has great easy access on 72nd Street to get onto Interstate 80. And so if you want your kids to go to a private school, it's really pretty easy to get to any private school in the Omaha Metro from this location. There is a part of the Aksarben area that is part of West Side Schools. There's just a few streets over in the Elmwood Park neighborhood that's just west of Elmwood Park that feeds into the West Side School District. The tax levy for Aksarben is in that 2.1 to 2.2% of your assessed value, which is pretty good for the Omaha Metro. I know that if you're moving from out of state, that seems super high, but it is pretty reasonable for the Omaha Metro area, especially compared to the suburbs and in those newer developments. Aksarben has better walkability than Morton Meadows or Field Club. So if you're considering these neighborhoods that are very charming, that really do not have any cookie cutter homes, that have that like older charm, then Aksarben is going to have the best for walkability, especially if you're working at HDR, Pacific Life, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Fiserv, or if you're working at UNO. This is a great place to live. If you have any questions about Aksarben or any other neighborhood in Omaha, I would love to help you. Feel free to message me on Instagram at HeyMorganPutnam, or you can text me at 402-720-9886. Again, my name is Morgan Putnam, and I am a realtor in the Omaha Metro.